It's my distinct pleasure to have Debra Carey on the line. She's going to fill us in on Art Man. We just kind of heard the clip. Tell us a little bit about that clip, Deb, that you did this summer that I produced and put out on YouTube.
Well, we get together every Friday. We do our little anti-war gathering under the clock, and he sit downtown on a little chair and draw. And so he would, on his way back, he would walk a little bit, and then he would sit down and draw or play a little music, whatever he was doing. And so he just had sat down there and started playing this song and just whipped it out, and I whipped out my camera, and he said, "Put me on YouTube." I said, "Okay." And that's how it happened.
Yeah, you're like, I know someone who could do that.
Yeah, and then I was like, so then I had it on my phone, but, what good is that to me? So I sent it to you, and you made it nice, and he was so happy. He was just so happy over that. And his wife could see it, and his wife is down in Southern California, and so he was really happy about that.
So why don't you explain a little bit, Debra? I know for the listeners, you are an amazing. When I use the term lion, I'm really using it for all of the work you do, getting people SSI, getting them teeth, getting them a house, calling supervisors. I mean, you're just amazing. And it was just a blessing for me, kind of getting ready to produce this show, just seeing that post that you did on how you've gotten Art Man housed, and you actually gave him a key today. So maybe you could kind of take us from Art Man down there in Garberville to Art Man in Arcata tonight, going into an apartment.
Yeah, well, he goes in on the 18th. He is right now inside, but he gets his key and goes in on the 18th, and it's brand new housing that they had just built. Actually, not very many there, but really, really nice place. And so I met him a couple of summers ago. He showed up here, and he was staying up on Hippy Hill, which is a place that had a camp where people were camping. We had a sanctuary camp going on a piece of property, and he was staying there, and he wasn't well. And he said from the moment that he came that he wasn't well, and then I sheltered him last winter, and he just seemed to be declining and not getting better. And so I took him to a couple of medical appointments and started that with him, trying to get his medical things situated. And so he was up on Hippy Hill, and he was declining, and the cops were harassing us. And so they said they weren't going to move up on Hippy Hill, and I just said to a group of them, if you want to stay, I'll stand in solidarity with you, which means I'll see you through the court proceeding, and I'll help you fight it, and I'll be with you. I'll take you to court no matter what. I'll be with you. And so they all said yes, that's what they wanted to do. And so that's what they were doing. They were living up there, and during that time, maybe around April or so, they started moving the people in Eureka up at the marsh behind the Bayshore Mall, Devil's Playground, known as Devil's Playground, too. And I got, in one of my phone calls, I called my local government and started complaining about them moving those people, and I wanted to hear back from somebody. And so I called everybody, up the ladder, and of course nobody would speak to me. And actually somebody called me back the next day from the second in charge of the Department of Health and Human Services. And in my rant of what are you doing trying to make people disappear in Eureka, I said, I have a sick man that's, really sick up on this hill, and he's now been cited, and they're headed to court, and he's really, really sick. And I just was, given it to her. And she said, I think I can help you. And during that process, though, they really couldn't help him until we got through the court system. And the court system was lengthier than it should have been, because we really went in with the strategy of we wanted 5 separate jury trials, and we wanted it done in 45 days. We weren't waiving our time. Well, they ended up waiving taking our time for us, not even asking us, and it ended up going into 180 days or whatever, but it ended up being dismissed. But we had to go through that whole process. They ended up taking us up to Eureka, even taking us, doing the court 2-3 times a week up in Eureka, really trying to get us to not show up and end up with warrants, but we showed up. And we got a dismissal, and right after that dismissal, they helped him, the county, there's a program, and they grabbed him up, and on the 18th, he has a brand new apartment. His health is declining. He's really talented artist, and his health is declining. He's in a wheelchair now. And that was the thing. It was hard for him to walk. I always took him back up on the hill, and it was hard for him to fight the case, but he did it because he really felt like he wanted to make a stand that there is no place for us to be in southern Humboldt. There's no shelter or anything like that, no bathroom, there's just nothing. And so he wanted to make a stand, plus he was so sick. And so he has been getting his health, all his medical arranged, and they've had him in a motel since they grabbed him up. And on the 18th, he has the keys, and he's going into a brand new apartment. And we had a wonderful conversation today, and he was very thankful, and I'm very thankful that our worlds collided, and I'm thankful that somebody heard us at the county level.
Did he go through the MAC Center up there in Eureka?
Yeah, he did. He's in the MAC right now waiting to get his keys, and he's really thankful. I mean, he's been out for a few years, really sick. He was diagnosed with 3 cancers just in the last month. He's terminally ill, and he's just a wonderful guy, and just couldn't work out better for Christmas. So I'm taking him up art supplies. That's what I did on the streets. I kept him in art supplies. He sold a lot of art. He didn't panhandle. He just had art, and he sold a lot of art on the streets. Not a lot, but enough to, get him a little something, keep him going. And he didn't panhandle. And he's just a really sweet guy. And he painted, he charcoaled, he drew. And so he sketched. And I have some pieces on my Facebook page. And I told him that we were looking for artists, we always are looking for artists. And I told him that I would love for him to do some art for us at Legalized Sleep. And what that may look like for, and through his eyes, and because he's been through so much that living was so hard for him that I think that he could put some light on that. And so I'm going to take him up some art supplies, and we're going to have a good time, and he'll have a good Christmas. It's turned out wonderful, just wonderful. If anything, if that's what Chill did this year, Chill did that for him, and I think that's a wonderful thing. If we don't do anything ever again, for me, watching really sick people on the streets is really tough for me. It's hard for me to watch anybody be on the streets, but when people are battling disabilities, it's just, and are really, really ill, it's just really tough to watch.
Yeah, it is, and I know it's the same thing for me, and it's kind of hard to even describe, some of the things that we see out there. Debra Carey. Hey, I got an idea. We could maybe do a radio program every month or two. Moments from Humboldt County with Debra Carey.
Yeah, there you go. I appreciate you coming over. We had a lot of fun with Paul. It was a good time, and we've had a lot of fun, and we're doing a lot of work over here. And I mean, we've got a long way to go, but we're one person at a time. And that's how we're doing it over here. And that's the only way we can do it. We have we have nothing. We just don't have anything here. And for a long, long time, and something's got to give. Something's got to give, because it's been a really tough road for the people. The people have really suffered in a big way in Humboldt County. And so I'm hoping that, we can shed some light on this problem. We have we're going through we have no shelter, and we have to have some shelter or some campgrounds or something. We have to have something's got to give, because the people are really, really struggling. And so it's really one person at a time is how we're doing it down here, and it's been challenging.
Well, blessings to you, Debra Carey. I can't wait to get back up there because you know I love it up there, and I really had a wonderful time. And I just thank you guys for all your support. You hosted me, a little bit of travel money. I mean, it was really. Somebody called it a working vacation. Tammy Donaldson here in Chico called it my working vacation. So if I can have that much fun on a working vacation, I'll probably do it more often.
Yeah, welcome to Humboldt. Humboldt loves you, and we're a unique place over here. We really are. I welcome everybody, no matter what anybody thinks. We love everybody, and we love everybody to come see us. We're unique. We are, there's no place in the world like us.
All right, Debra Carey, I'll let you go. I know you've just come from a meeting and it's getting late, but blessings to you, Debra Carey, the Lion from Humboldt County. All righty.
Good night.